This is one of the most important cathedrals in the entire world. It's la Catedral Metropolitana, which means the Metropolitan Cathedral in the middle of Mexico City, also known as CDMX. This cathedral is a center point for millions of adherents here in Mexico, a very important part of the Roman Catholic Church. It took 3 centuries to construct, from 1573 all the way to 1813. Let's do a 360 VR tour of this church. I am going to stay pretty much quiet inside so you can just enjoy all the views, take in all the scenery, look in every single direction that you want to. We're right in front of the addition to the church, which is done in this Moorish style, while the church is done in the mishmash of different styles. I'll tell you a little bit about it as we go inside. Let's go. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Here we have an image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. So let me show you a secret. Twice per year, they open this area up. It's a room of relics. It opens during the Day of the Dead. But I think we'll be able to sneak in the view. So there's a huge area of relics in one of these rooms. So cool. So Mexico is a very Catholic country. And the reason it's so Catholic is due to the apparition of Our Lady of Guadalupe, the Virgin Mary. Let's go to the main cathedral. So now we're entering the main Metropolitana Catedral, the Metropolitan Cathedral. One of the most famous cathedrals in the entire world. Now originally, Hernán Cortés wanted to build the cathedral, or he did in 1524, after he took over Tenochtitlan. Tenochtitlan is the city of the Aztecs, which we're actually walking on top right now, or at least the ruins of it. So Hernán Cortés wanted to make a Catholic nation under Spanish rule. However, he intended to become a ruler of these lands. And thus he wanted to build a huge cathedral. He didn't quite have the resources to do so, so he pulled stones from the great temple of the Aztecs in order to make a little cathedral. But to many Spanish visitors, to the crown, to missionaries, it was a bit too humble for their tastes. So here we have one of the main altars. So the original cathedral was a bit too humble. Thus in 1544, they worked with Spanish architects to be inspired by major Spanish cathedrals in Salamanca, in Seville, that were mostly in the Gothic style, to design a massive, grand cathedral. A cathedral that would blow people away. However, it was a very ambitious plan, and thus they kept building and building and building and building and building. First it was in the Gothic style, then it was in the classical style, which is a mishmash of Romanesque and Greek. And then they went Baroque, which is inspired by the French, and of course the Italians as well. And then they went back to classical. So it went through all these different mishmash styles. And that's why as you're looking around, it kind of seems like, it does seem like a mix. It's really unlike most cathedrals that you would see in the Roman Catholic world or in the Episcopal world. Now here on the side, we have all these different chapels. Let me see if I can enter the crypts. Also, the crypts only open during Day of the Dead. This is to see the altar. Yeah, this is to see the altar. I'll show you the main altar. So in 1967, there was a huge fire that ravaged the church. Unfortunately, the altar of forgiveness was lost, or not completely lost, but heavily damaged, and they had to do a full repair. Here we see one of the two of the main grand organs. See here this way, and then we have another set down there. Now there's no stained glass windows, there are more in these kind of abstract patterns. But most of the church is built with volcanic rock that comes by the nearby two volcanoes that surround Mexico City, one of them being Ipocatepetl. Pardon my pronunciation for that one. Let's sneak a look over here. So each of these chapels are dedicated to a different saint. And here we have what appears to be the confessional booth. Yeah, these are confessional booths. Very public. Very public to be in them. So in the Roman Catholic tradition, the patron of the church would sit down here, or the parishioner, would sit down here, and he would speak to the priest or higher rank, and they would hear their confessions. And then they have to do a certain amount of prayers to atone for their sins. Plating here, and we see the image of Jesus right in the center. And this is an amazing perspective. The church, in essence, is divided into two. And that's why it doesn't seem as open as other Roman Catholic churches. You might see in other countries like Paris or Italy. And look at this beautiful ornate altar. Wow. I highly recommend coming here during Mass. They have a few Masses every single day. And they sing in the Masses. And it's just beautiful here, all the beautiful echo, the acoustics of this place. Let's check out this pulpit. Let's go very tall. So right here is where they measure how much the cathedral is moving. So Tenochtitlan is an island built in the middle of the lake. The thing is, they end up landfilling most of the lake to build modern-day Mexico City. This has caused very bad issues when it comes to buildings sinking. It's because there's very porous earth beneath our feet. So beneath our feet there's a layer of Aztec ruins from Tenochtitlan, and then below that is very porous earth. This is causing the cathedral to sink, and it has sunk significantly in the past few centuries. And here we see it, the marker, so let's get closer to it. This is attached all the way to the top, to the dome. have a better up-close view of the organ. Just marvelous. Absolutely love this cathedral. Highly recommend visiting La Catedral Metropolitana, the Metropolitan Cathedral, right smack dab in the middle of Mexico City, in what is known as the Zócalo, or La Plaza de Constitución. And let's exit here. I'll show you the back side, or the side of the cathedral. You can kind of see a little bit better the mishmash of styles. Right over here. Wow, there we go. So we see a lot of rounded arches that are very similar to Romanesque style. Of course, we have some Gothic flourishes. And we have these huge doors, some of the oldest pieces in the entire church. So think of this church is from the 1500s, very old, especially when it comes to North American standards, because there's a few major buildings, aside from maybe the Mayan pyramids and a few others, that survived from the age before colonization. So thank you everyone so much for watching this 360 VR video. I hope you enjoyed this perspective, and thank you to all the super urbanists out there supporting on Patreon, YT memberships, and Facebook supporters for getting early access to this VR video before it's posted publicly. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. There we go. Perfect way to end.